Alright guys, let's try it again. Redheaded stepchild. Dart 165's just about done. You can see there's probably a couple spots here and there I need to do. The pinch, all of the pinches have been pretty much done. Now they are about 1.9 square inches right now. But I haven't raised the roof at all. We have lots of metal on the roof. We were thinking of blowing the roof up to give us more of an arc because the TPI manifold is so low. We are going to get some more information before we go that far. Okay, it's basically the way you saw them last time, except I did a 1204 match. It's amazing how much tighter these were than 1204 from the factory. Literally over 1/8 of an inch narrower. Now, is it that much of a detriment if you just put them on the way they are? It's not that big a deal, really. I mean, everyone's like, oh my God, you need the gasket. It doesn't make that big a deal, guys. If you're looking for every ounce, sure. Make sure it's a hair bigger than the gasket, actually. So, what did we do from this? Well, these have all been equalized, so I did take the number 8 and refloat it to see if there would be any changes. I figured there'd be a little bit. So we can compare number 8 to the last number 8 and see what the difference is. And I was given the okay to do a little work on the TPIS. I did a very minimum amount of work to it, and most of it was at the tight turn before it goes into the cylinder head. And we can compare the flows we got last time to what we got this time. Okay, guys, what do we got? Well, this was our second cut, and this, we can call that our third cut, but in reality, we opened it to 1204, and the pinch is 1.9 square inches. How did we do as far as our last flows and this flows? You have to remember, I did open up the pinch, okay, and it's now a 1204, so it's got a little bit more entry area. So how'd we do? We got plus equals plus. We got a 10 CFM gain at 600. Okay. The owner actually got a camshaft recommendation from Mike Jones. It's only about 510 lift, so we need to concentrate what we got at 500, which is 263. Not bad. Not bad. Now, if we can get the rest of the intake to feed that much, that would be a miracle, but I don't think that's going to happen, to be honest. There's basically no way. So, that all looks pretty good, okay? Notice what happened with our swirl. We lost a little swirl everywhere. Is it a big deal? 500, we got 2268. We're good. Let's take a look at what happened to our air speeds from one to the other. Okay, this is what we had, right? Second cut. This is what we have, third cut. Remember, we have a bigger pinch now, so we went down everywhere. Still a little fast. Can we live with it? Depends how we do everywhere else, okay? So we're not going to touch it right now. How'd we do on our roof? Well, the roof was working out really well at this point, okay? Relatively close and sped up on both sides. How did we do on the short side? Well, it was ridiculous, and it's still fast, okay? 427, 416, 373. Not bad, not perfect. In reality, I could probably do something with this high speed and get a few more CFM out. In reality, I don't think we need to do that. Remember, guys, part of the project is to try to keep the port as tight as we can and get done what we got to get done. So, I forgot to do our exhaust speeds, but let's take a look at our last flows through the intake and these flows through the intake. Okay, let's see if we can get these all in focus here. So we're looking at these numbers here. Hard for you guys to see. Okay, that's what we did last time. Now the head was flowing 260 and the manifold was untouched with a clay radius. Okay, So we will take a look at these guys. It's had a small amount of porting. Why don't I show you guys what we did on that? Okay, on this side, I just took that sharp edge out. I didn't go crazy. I just radiused it out a little bit with my high helix burr. Remember, guys, point is trying to take out as little as we can out of this because we want our airspeeds to be in a specific range. Okay, here you can see what we did. We just opened up this turn because it was very steep turn. Let's take a look at one that's. Let me move some lighting. Okay, I think you guys can see that. That's a stalker. Notice how very sharp turn. Okay, we can make that better. Now we know from the last one, the stalker that I did, I was able to raise the roof quite a bit, and that helped a lot. This was just not really raised. It was just went over a touch. Most of the work was on this wall on the right, and it was just done with my high helix, and we didn't take a tremendous amount. I only took about 50 thousandths out of that wall. Remember, the point is to try to keep the airspeeds high. Well, the airspeeds exiting this are actually too high, so we're going to have to do some work to it. Probably raise that roof, probably raise the roof inside the cylinder head a little bit so that has more of a radius to get in. Okay, this is what we did last time. We maxed out, let's say 500 at 230. What do we got this time? 500, 237. Now, you got to remember, we got a little bit of a gain in the cylinder head itself, and we took a little area out of that one wall. As far as pluses and minuses, we got 1 minus, plus, 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 plus. Obviously, it liked that little bit of change that I did. How did we do on a swirl? Minus, 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 plus, minus, 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 minus. Okay, we got less swirl. Doing the changes to the head, remember it's got a bigger pinch, so our Kawanda effect following that curved wall changes. Okay, if you don't know what that is, look it up. It's interesting. It's an interesting thing. And let me get my thoughts together. As far as swirl, we're still 22, 45. We're good as far as swirl. Okay, I don't know if I did any work to the exhaust port from here to here, but it is kind of interesting what we wound up getting, right? Got a minus, plus, 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 minus, 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 minus. Okay? The difference is right here. This one was at 81 degrees. It does make a difference on my bench. I don't even know if I touched that exhaust. I figured I would just reflow it. Always interesting, right, guys? And even though I did lose at 500, small pipe 196.4, big pipe 210.8. Not bad for a 1.5 valve on a very small exhaust port. We still have our noise. See the ends? Because I don't think I changed anything. Now, what I may have done is, let's take a quick look. Okay, I know what I was thinking. As you can see, I went through all of these and I did my radiuses and I did a fine finish up to the radius. You can see I shrunk down the 45, but my throat is real tight. It's an 83.8% throat. So I may open that up a little bit more, especially if I can't get rid of that noise. I don't know if I'm going to do that until I get the good valves. The good valves will show up, and that'll make a big difference. I may not need to touch these, because if you look at that exhaust curve, it's damn good. Okay? So, let me just flip this over. Okay, what I did on all of these is I worked on making the guide boss about the same on all of them, and I went over all of them with a real fine burr. Okay, they're all pretty much where I want them. I will know more when I get the better valves. I forgot to take my air speeds on the exhaust, but in any case, It doesn't look like it's any different. It just looks like it lost a few CFM from it being like hell in here. All right, guys. Oh, I know what else I have to show you. Hold on. Okay, the speeds in the intake manifold. Now, I did this a little bit different than we did last time. I was told my information was a mess. So we're going to work on that a little bit, okay? This is opening where the tube goes in. This is the head flange, okay? These are our 4 quadrants, we could call them, okay? This is going to be the floor, the front of the runner, the roof of the runner, and the back of the runner. So we can take all these numbers and we can average them. We get 277.4 as far as our airspeeds along our floor. Front, 269.75. Roof, 258. Surprising to see the roof slower, right? Back, average them, 293. Now we could average all of these. They're slower than we would like, I'll tell you right now. Okay, we would like to see 300 or even better. Now, then we're going to start a juggling game of how do we get the airspeeds up? Well, we get the airspeeds up by getting more flow through it. But the other part that's a real pain with TPI is when we change our area, what happens to our wave reflection? I haven't really been able to find out. I would think the wave reflection would go down as the area goes up, but I never took that in school, so I wouldn't know. I'm sure somebody on here knows way better than me. Okay, so those were our cross averages. Now we do the down averages, okay? One is our opening. That's where I barely touched, right? So let's average that. 277.7. Hear my wife cackling. It's always funny. 2. All right, we're at our large area bend. Notice how the speed plummets right there. Okay, I was telling the customer, I said, if we have to, I can fill that. Now, what will happen to our mass flow if I fill it? Well, that's a good question. It'll probably go down, so we're not going to touch it right now. Okay, 3, 288 and change, and 4 is the flange where it enters the cylinder head is fast. Okay, these are all a little bit slower than we'd like. This one is a little faster than we'd like. So right here, right, if we can work on this area and increase our flow through the whole manifold, these will go up. Okay. You guys give me some feedback on that, what you think I should do. And I got to go inside and get a drink. I'm dying. All right, guys. Thanks for hanging out. Have a good night.